So there's no purport, but we have some notes based on Srila Prabhupada's purports to discuss. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are most fortunate in this particular Dham, Hare Krishna land, ISKCON Juhu, here in Mumbai, that on the anniversary appearance of Srimati Lalita Devi, we have Lalita Devi herself here on the altar. In the Sri Vraja Vilas Stava by Srila Raghunath Goswami, he composed a beautiful prayer. So I'll read the prayer for you. Sandra Prema Rasai Pluta Priyataya Pragalbhyam Aptatayo Prana Presta Vayasya Yor Anudinam Lila Bisharam Kramai Vaidagdyana Tata Sakim Pratisadas Manasya Siksham Rasai Yeyam Kara Yatiha Anta Lalita Grina Tusamam Ganai. So this is from the Sri Vrajavilas Stava, text 29. It's Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's prayer. And the translation is, flooded with the nectar of intense love for her two friends, Shri Radha Krishna, who are more dear to her than her own life, affectionately arrogant in their presence and daily arranging for their rendezvous, Lalita Devi expertly teaches her friend Radha the art of jealous anger, mana. May Srimati Lalita Devi one day accept me as one of her associates in a personal group. So this is coming from Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. And he has the a kind of potency internally to offer such prayer. As one of the manjaris, Rati Manjari. So, we are in sadhana bhakti. But at the same time, we are allowed to worship Shri Shri Radha Rasa Bihari with the Lalita and Vishaka. Although we may not be, at least myself, although I'm not qualified to even get the darshan. Yeah. However, in this particular verse that we read today, it is very clear that Dohipase, that Krishna is sandwiched, or rather Rasa Bihari is sandwiched between Radharani and Lalita. That means he cannot really get away. See? So in this particular verse by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, Lalita means the form of mischievousness. And in that regard, Srila Rupa Goswami has also written a nice drama called Lalita Madhava. But that Lalita Madhava, that drama that Srila Rupa Goswami composed, is called naughty or playful Krishna. In other words, that particular feature of Krishna that makes him mischievous, that makes him playful, that makes him naughty, is called Krishna, who is Lalita, so therefore Lalita Krishna. So that's, you could say, incitement, that provoking Krishna to be naughty, to be mischievous, and to be playful, is incited by the form of Srimati Lalita Devi. So therefore, when Srila Raghunath Das Goswami composed this verse, he makes it very clear that Lalita Devi, she naturally, expertly, in other words, schools in, or Srimati Radharani becomes a student, and she teaches Srimati Radharani to develop the art of man, or anger. See? So that means Lalita Devi herself is mischievous and playful and naughty. So when this happens, Krishna has no choice, because he's sandwiched like on the altar. On Krishna's right side is Srimati Lalita Devi, and on Krishna's left side is Srimati Radharani. So when Krishna wants to make Radharani angry, she does not become angry. So therefore Raghunath Das Goswami tells us the manifestation of the anger of Srimati Radharani is coming from the consciousness and provoking nature of Srimati Lalita Devi. And that gives more pleasure to Krishna. So this is a very, very interesting aspect. Srila Prabhupada have us understand it's like an overlapping of consciousness. It really cannot be understood in some way. But let's read from Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says in the Adi Lila chapter 10, text number 15, purport. In the Gaura Ganadas Dipika, text 147 to 150 to 153, it is stated Shri Krishna's pleasure potency formerly known as Vrindavaneshwari, is now personified in the form of Sri Gadadhar Pandit in the Pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Svarupa Damodara Goswami has pointed out that in the shape of Lakshmi, the pleasure potency of Krishna, she was formerly very dear to the Lord as Shama Sundar Vallabha. The same Shama Sundar Vallabha is now present in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes as Gadadhar Pandit. And Prabhupada says further, formerly as Lalita-sakhi, she was always devoted to Srimati Radharani. Thus, Gadadhar Pandit is simultaneously an incarnation of Srimati Radharani and Lalita-sakhi. Now, we are always aware that Gadadhar Pandit is the pleasure potency, which is the form of Srimati Radharani, but missing loving Krishna, because Krishna snatched away that love of Radharani and became Lord Chaitanya. But here Srila Prabhupada says, quoting from Gauranga Tipika, that Gadadhar Pandit is simultaneously the incarnation of Srimati Radharani and Lalita-sakhi. So that's very interesting. And that is why Lalita-sakhi is on the right side of Krishna, sandwiching Krishna with Srimati Radharani on the other side. So we are aware that Krishna is a henpecked lover, henpecked by Srimati Radharani. That word is used. In other words, Srimati Radharani is bossy. That word is used also. But that bossiness, or that you could say superiority of Srimati Radharani over Krishna, is incited by Srimati Lalita Devi. And therefore Sripad Gadadhar Pandit is simultaneously both as the incarnation of Srimati Radharani and Lalita-sakhi, as Srila Prabhupada have us understand in that purport. Now let's make it a little bit more confusing, because it cannot be understood. In the Adi Leela, chapter 4, text 105, purport, Srila Prabhupada makes it a little bit more interesting. So Srila Prabhupada says, now note, Srila Prabhupada says in the Adi Leela chapter 10 that Gadadhar Pandit is simultaneously the incarnation of Srimati Radharani and Lalita Devi combined. See? Now let's hear from Srila Prabhupada again. Adi Leela chapter 4, text 105. Svarupa Damodara has been identified as Lalita Devi, the second expansion of Radharani. However, text 160 of Kavi Karnapur's authoritative Gaura Gonadas Tipika describes Svarupa Damodara as the same Vishaka Devi who serves the Lord in Goloka Vrindavan. Therefore, it is to be understood that Sri Svarupa Damodara is a direct expansion of Radharani who helps the Lord experience the attitude of Radharani. Because Lalita helps Krishna to experience the attitude of Radharani, which is man, jealous anger, which Raghunath Das Goswami says, which is in keeping with what Srila Prabhupada says in this purport. Very interesting. So first, Srila Prabhupada says that Gadadhar Pandit is simultaneous incarnation of Srimati Radharani and Lalita Devi combined. Now Srila Prabhupada says that this Lalita Devi is Svarupa Damodara Goswami, who is the intimate associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and at the same time he serves as Vishaka Devi. Very interesting. So let's make it even more interesting. Now in the Adi Leela, chapter 10, text number 134, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, the Gaura Gonadas Dipika, text 120 to 124, states that Ramananda Rai was formerly Arjuna. He is also considered to have been an incarnation of the Gopi Lalita, although in the opinion of others he was an incarnation of Vishaka Devi. He was a most confidential devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nice. Svarupa Damodara Goswami is Lalita, and at the same time he serves as Vishaka Devi. Now Ramananda Rai is also Lalita, but in the opinion of others is also Vishaka Devi. See? So this is a very nice meditation and introspection to try to understand it, but it cannot really be understood until I came across one verse, another verse. So we will read this verse. This is in the Madhya Leela, chapter 8, text 165, which reconciles everything. Okay? The verse is, Mahabhava Chintamani Radhara Swarupa Lalita-sakhi Tanra Kaya Vyuha Rupa. So, in the translation by Srila Prabhupada, it says, Srimati Radharani is the topmost spiritual gem, and the other gopis, Lalita, Vishaka, and so on, are expansions of her spiritual body. So this reconciles that. This reconciles that. So I'll give you one sort of incidental pastime that happened at Unchagaon. Now, I lived in Vrindavan for many years at three different periods. And one time I'd lived in Vrindavan, from 1989 to 1991, a full 2 years through all seasons and so forth. And I used to be the ashram Gurukul teacher there in place of Kurma Rupa, who couldn't get his visa to come back from Malaysia. Our Kurma Rupa Prabhu is late now. He is the founder acharya of Care for Cows. So every Friday I used to take the boys into different places in Vraj Mandala. So there's a very beautiful and enchanting village called Unchagaon. And Unchagaon is the village of Srimati Lalita Devi. And there's a very also a beautiful samadhi there of a personality called Narayan Bhatta Goswami, who is a disciple of Krishnadas Brahmachari. And they come in the line of Gadadhar Pandit Goswami, which is a member of the Panchatattva, which we discussed here. So Narayan Bhatta Goswami is known as a Vrajaras Acharya. Vrajaras Acharya. Yeah. So he would be anywhere in Vraj Mandala, and he would take rest in the evening under one tree, and immediately in that particular place, under that Kalpavriksha tree, the pastime used to simply come to his heart. So that's Narayan Bhatta Goswami. See? And in that sense, his Istadevs was Shishi Radha Gopinath. When he used to wander in the forest itself, he uncovered many lost deities, and at the same time he established their worship after he uncovered them. Nicely they should be worshipped. So his samadhi is there in Unchagaon, which is the village of Srimati Lalita Devi, which is very near to Varshana itself, which is the place of Srimati Radharani. So sometimes it is clear that one associate may have a service in relation to Srimati Radharani, like Srimati Lalita Devi. But sometimes Lalita Devi is somehow delayed. Delayed means it's taking a little bit longer to do the other service because some monkeys have come around. See? So in place of that service, the next associate to do what Lalita Devi is meant to do on time for Srimati Radharani is Vishaka Devi. See? At the same time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intimate associates, because we can never really enter into Radha Krishna Leela without first entering into the Leela of the Panchatattva of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not possible. It's impossible to enter into Radha Krishna Leela. So therefore when we chant Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakti Vranda, then we chant Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So my humble request to the devotees who are going to lead kirtan today and tomorrow is that you should also sing Srila Prabhupada's pranam mantras and also sing Panchatattva mantra, and then you sing Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. But if you straight away going and sing Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is just a melody. Because you're not invoking the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and also the Panchatattva, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. It is very important to do that. And also, it is not that we should just say first, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vranda, and then you go to the harmonium and then you start singing in a singing way or melody way, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. What about singing the Panchatattva mantra too? Sing it. This is for our esteemed Kirtaniyas who are in our presence today. See? So therefore it is most important that we must enter into Radha and Krishna Lila through the mercy of the Panchatattva and also through the mercy of the disciplic succession, and importantly for us, Srila Prabhupada. Very important. Otherwise it is simply sense gratification. Like one person named Krishna Das in America. It is simply sense gratification. It sounds nice. You might as well hear Anup Jalota singing. Same thing. So therefore, coming back to the point that sometimes Svarupa Damodara Goswami and Ramananda Rai, they were intimate associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they interchangeably took the consciousness of Vishaka Devi and Lalita Devi, interchangeably. Therefore, this is reconciling Srila Prabhupada's purport. So we find that sometimes Ramananda Rai is with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the banks of the Godavari. See? And at other times, Svarupa Damodara Goswami is with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. See? So, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to experience the inner further moods of Sri Chaitanya, of Srimati Radharani, having the consciousness of stolen her love for him, then sometimes Ramananda Rai is not present, but Svarupa Damodara Goswami is present. And sometimes Svarupa Damodara Goswami is not present and Ramananda Rai is present on the banks of the river Godavari. So therefore they interchangeably swing from one consciousness of one gopi to another to give pleasure to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So similarly, sometimes Lalita Devi comes to Vishaka Devi's place and Vishaka Devi comes to Lalita Devi's place. But it's not traveling in terms of physical proximity or geographical distances, as we have to travel with this body, both gross and subtle. It's a movement of consciousness. It's a movement of consciousness. So then the next question can be asked is that, is Lalita Devi a she and is Svarupa Damodara Goswami a he? Is Radharani she? We say for the sake of speaking, for the sake of communication, she is so beautiful. And we say Krishna, he is so attractive. So we're immediately making this whole thing gender separate. See? On the platform of pure consciousness, on the platform of pure love of Krishna, there's no real aspect of the material experience of male and female. There's nothing like that. And Srila Prabhupada gives the example of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. He said that Brahma was born from his navel on a lotus flower without the help of Lakshmi, who was there. So he's like, Garbhodakshai Vishnu, a he or a she? It's neither. And then Srila Prabhupada used to say that the best word to describe Krishna is, he is Adipurush. Is the supreme enjoyer. So just see, I'm using the word, he is the supreme enjoyer. I'm using the word he. But in pure Krishna consciousness, when one is free from the bodily conception of life, both gross and subtle, these things don't apply. These things don't apply. Because in pure consciousness is the enjoyer and the enjoyed. Sometimes Prabhupada used to say in Bhagavad Gita introduction, like Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti and Purusha. Then Srila Prabhupada said, any language other than Sanskrit is very crude. Very crude. So in order to communicate the philosophy, in order to communicate the understanding, we have to use relativity of words of people that have a relative experience in the material world. So therefore there's male and female, boy and girl, young and old, winter and summer, spring and autumn, day and night. See? So these are all, you could say, material opposites. They don't come together eternally. They're always separated in the material world. So therefore, when we speak about Lalita Devi and even Vishaka Devi, the word Devi may be used in relationship to explanation of being like the enjoyed, but not really female in nature. See? Srila Prabhupada was asked the question, and he also says this in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Yeah. Who is Srimati Radharani? So Srila Prabhupada said, Srimati Radharani is the compassionate nature of Sri Krishna. Compassionate nature of Sri Krishna. And then Srila Prabhupada quoted Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. There's a verse, it's not coming to my consciousness now, but Srila Prabhupada said that just as fire emanates heat and light, and one could safely conclude that heat and light is non different from fire. See? Isn't it? Yes. But another way you can conclude, it is different. See? So Srila Prabhupada said, similarly, Srimati Radharani is non different from Krishna. Vishaka and Lalita are non different from Radharani, enhancing the mood and pleasure of Radharani to fight with Krishna, to be angry with Krishna. So that's playful, Lalita, playful. See? So we cannot say that heat and light is female and the fire is male. Do we say that? No. That's for the sake of separating to be gender separate, which is a material experience in the material world. See, Rupa Raghunatha Pade, the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami were actually Rupa and Rati Manjari. So who is male and who is female? It's not like that. That's relative to our material experience. So long as we are in the bodily conception of life, both gross and subtle body, we're going to relate like that. And therefore Prabhupada made it easily digestible in the languages using these words. In terms of relative reality in the material world, which is temporary, in relation to the absolute reality in the spiritual world, which is eternal. See? So in the relative reality to relate in the material world, we speak about he and she. But in the absolute reality, there's an absence of that. It is just pure Krishna consciousness, from the enjoyed to the enjoyer. So that's the form of Lalita Devi. Lalita Devi, like I'm using the word she again because of expression in the English language, which is crude. Yeah. So Lalita Devi is the servant of Srimati Radharani, who is the servant of Krishna. She doesn't want to enjoy Krishna. She wants to serve Srimati Radharani, to serve Krishna who enjoys. So we use the word she again, but that's the nature of saying it in the English language. So therefore these are wonderful days, these are beautiful days, these are very, Madhava Titi, Bhakti Janani, so we can pray directly to Srimati Lalita Devi today for her boundless and causeless mercy, so that we can enter into Radha Krishna Lila through the mercy of the Panchatattva and through the mercy of the disciplic succession. And for us, the principal person in the disciplic succession that connects us all together is His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki. So we have a few minutes for some comments or questions if you'd like to ask. There's the mic he has back there. There. Okay, Nimai Nitai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you very much Maharaj. Especially this example which you quoted, that heat and light we don't call as she, and fire we don't call as he. So that made things very, very clear for me first time.
Yes, Radha is Krishna, at the same time Radha is not Krishna. But just like heat and light is fire, at the same time not fire. So it really cannot be male and female. It's one supreme absolute truth.
Yes, ma'am. And then you said this, that for the sake of explaining for our understanding, Srila Prabhupada used these words she or he. But actually we cannot say that. Was very, very learning. Maharaj, thank you so much. Maharaj, you mentioned, which again was another question you clarified very beautifully today, that Svarupa Damodara Goswami and Ramananda Rai, who is Lalita and who is Vishakha Devi. So you explained by this shloka from Madhya Lila 8th chapter that they interchange the consciousness. And you quoted the example that Radharani, when she needs assistant and Lalita Devi, she is delayed. Then Vishakha Devi. So then, Maharaj, if the consciousness is interchanging for both these devotees, as per the need of Mahaprabhu's mood at the present situation, at the current situation, then who these two souls are, Ramananda Rai and Svarupa Damodara Goswami, who are these two souls? The consciousness change, okay, they accept the consciousness of any one of them which is needed by Mahaprabhu for Mahaprabhu's service. But who are these two souls, Maharaj? It's my small question.
So when you perfect your Krishna consciousness and enter into Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Leela, you can ask them. I don't know. So that requires chanting the Panchatattva mantra and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So when you meet them, you put in a good word for me, that I am still struggling here in the material world, and please also rescue me. Thank you very much.
Question was more, if you allow. that any special prayer which you could offer to Srimati Lalita Devi since she is present with us here on this day.
Special prayer.
Yeah.
Okay, let's all say this special prayer by Raghunath Das Goswami. We can follow, but we cannot imitate. We can follow, but we cannot imitate. Just like, to give an example, how we can follow but not imitate. I'll give you an example. See? And then we'll conclude, because we have to conclude soon, right? And because the kirtan will begin at 9 o'clock. Yeah. So, just like in the morning, we sing every morning, Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Prayasi Namo Namaha. And Sri Radha Govinda Prema Sadayana Bas. Now you tell me the translation of this Tulsi prayers. O Tulasi, beloved of Krishna. Come on. I bow down before you. You don't know? Who knows the translation? Again and again, whoever takes shelter of you, as his wishes fulfilled, bestowing your mercy upon him, you can make him a resident of Vrindavan. My desire is also to become a resident in the pleasure groves of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Thus, within my vision, I will always behold the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. You getting it? See? And please make me your maidservant. It is very fallen and lowly servant of Krishna, please. May I always swim in the love of Sri Sri Radha Govinda. Please make me your maidservant. Can we sing that mechanically every morning, or out of duty, or ritualistically during Tulasi Aarti? See? That's just before chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra Japa. See? That is not even Raga Nuga Bhakti. That is simply Rag. It is simply deep attachment for the desire to become a maidservant. It's simply that. So we are not imitating, but we are following. Every morning we sing that. We follow Prabhupada's morning sadhana bhakti program. But for us it's not rag. It's not raga bhakti. For us it's raga anuga bhakti, because it is part of sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti has two divisions, Vaidhi sadhana bhakti and Raganuga sadhana bhakti. So this feature in the morning program is Raganuga sadhana bhakti, which is a part of sadhana bhakti, just as we have Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, which is a part of sadhana bhakti. So in the same mood, by your request, we will say this verse by Raghunath Das Goswami, and then we'll read the translation again after that and conclude for today. So you can repeat after me. I'll say some words at a time because the meter is lengthy. You may not remember all the words. So this is from Sri Vraja Vilas Tava, text 29. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's prayer. Everyone. Sandra Prema Rasai Pluta Priyataya Pragalbyam Aptatayo Prana Presta Vayasyayor Anodinam Lila Bisharam Kramai Vaidagdhyena Tata Sakim Prati Sada Manasya Shiksham Rasai Yeyam Karayatya Anta Lalita Grinatu Sa Mam Ganai. You can repeat the translation because that's the prayer in English. Flooded with the nectar of intense love for her two friends, Shri Radha Rasabihari, who are more dear to her than her own life, affectionately arrogant in their presence and daily arranging for their rendezvous, Lalita Devi expertly teaches her friend Radha the art of jealous anger. Man, may Srimati Lalita Devi one day accept me as one of her associates in a personal group. Srimati Lalita Devi ki, Srimati Vishakha Devi ki, Shri Radha Rasa Bihari ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vranda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.